Alan Jackson is the well-known country music superstar that has defined generations with his sincere lyrics and silky voice.
However, there has always been some secrecy around his personal life, particularly with regard to his family, despite his notoriety and attention.
Well, the wait is over today.
Fans' long-held suspicions about the guy behind the music have finally been confirmed by Alan Jackson's daughter.
What was it she said? In what ways does this alter our perception of the country music star?
We're going to delve deeply into the revelations that have everyone talking, so stay tuned.
Early years and professional life. You know, I was raised in a tiny town and in the country, so I never really thought about singing or how you could do that. Ngunnen, Georgia, is where Alan Jackson was born and raised. He has 4 older sisters. Ruth Music Jackson and Joseph Eugene Jackson are his parents. His mother was referred to as Mama Ruth. Alan's ancestors were originally from England. His background is unique because of this. Alan grew up in a modest house.
It was constructed around the tool shed owned by his grandfather. Alan had vivid memories of the tool shed, which held great significance for him. Alan's mother tragically passed away on January 7, 2017.
Denise Jackson, Alan's wife, never lost faith in him. His musical career began in 1983. He first enjoyed gospel music.
He then heard performers like John Anderson, Gene Watson, and Hank Williams Jr. His music evolved as a result. Alan was a member of the band Dixie Steel while attending Elm Street Elementary and Noonan High Schools. His appreciation for music grew as a result. Alan and his spouse, Denise, relocated from Noonan to Nashville, Tennessee, when Alan was 27 years old. They wished for Alan to pursue a career in singing. Denise also found this step to be quite significant. She got to know well-known country singer Glen Campbell.
Aboard a flight when she was working,
Glen Campbell was informed by Denise that her husband aspired to be a singer.
Glen Campbell desired Alan's assistance. He provided Denise with his manager's phone number.
Alan benefited greatly from this since he got to know a significant figure in the music industry.
Alan joined Arista Records in 1989.
He released Blue-Blooded Woman, his debut single, a year later. Here in the Real World, his second single, was a huge hit. Among the top 3 country songs was this one. Following this, Alan's debut album, Here in the Real World, was released. I'd Love You All Over Again, one of the tracks on this album, was the #1 single in the nation. Wanted and Chasin' That Neon Rainbow, 2 other tracks from this album, were also huge hits.
Even more well-liked were Alan's subsequent 2 albums, Don't Rock the Jukebox and A Lot About Livin' and A Little About Love.
The top 5 country songs were taken from these albums. Some of these songs, such as Chattahoochee, Love's Got a Hold on You, and Midnight in Montgomery, were composed in memory of the well-known American vocalist Hank Williams. Alan's 5th album, Who I Am, came out in 1994. This album sold 10 million copies. Many country songs from the 1980s made use of unique computer sounds.
This type of music lost its appeal.
Alan restored the popularity of country music, as did other great country singers like Randy Travis, Vince Gill, Travis Tritt, Garth Brooks, and Clint Black. They contributed to the unprecedented rise in popularity of country music. To honor the victims of the September 11th attacks, Alan composed a song titled Where Were You, When the World Stopped Turning.
He received his first Grammy Award for Best Country Tune thanks to this tune.
That year, he also took home 4 country music honors. This matched the record set by another well-known artist, Johnny Cash. Alan's mother taught him how to write and perform songs when he was a youngster. Mrs. Ruth Jackson was his mother. She was referred to as Mama Ruth by her family and friends. Alan's mother Ruth constantly encouraged him and said he had the potential to be a fantastic singer. She was a big assistance to him when he first started playing music.
Alan's songs reflect his affection for his mother.
He sings with great passion. And his remarks warmed the hearts of his admirers everywhere.
Precious Memories, Alan's debut gospel CD, was created as a Mother's Day present for his mother.
At first, he had no intention of selling it to the general public, but he later changed his mind and did so in 2006. His mother's impact on his music is evident. In 2013, she also served as the inspiration for his second gospel album, Precious Memories 2.
Home is another song that Alan wrote.
Tells how his parents fell in love and used an old tool shed as the foundation for their home in Ngunnen. Before passing away at the age of 86, his mother spent many years living here. Alan's career depended heavily on his mother. Alan, his family, and his fans were devastated by her passing.
Numerous people's lives had been impacted by her.
Alan has experienced both good and bad situations in his life. There have been moments when his marriage to Denise has been challenging. Let's examine a few of the issues they have encountered throughout the years.
Dealing with marital challenges. The love tale between Alan and Denise Jackson is a lovely one.
They have been wed for nearly half a century.
They are among the longest married couples in the music industry as a result.
In their hometown of Ngunan, their narrative started in 1976. When Denise first met Alan, she was just 16 years old and heading to buy ice cream. When they were in high school, they began dating.
At the time, Alan was 18.
They married in 1979 after roughly 3 years of courtship.
Alan wasn't a singer when he and Denise were married.
They had no idea he would become a well-known musician.
Although fame might be difficult, their love has endured despite many difficulties.
Both of them have experienced health issues, and they even briefly lived apart.
However, they always support one another,
and thus has maintained their relationship. Alan and Denise demonstrate the enduring power of love and dedication. We've seen many highs and lows in our marriage, including a temporary separation almost 25 years ago, but we've continued to work hard at it.
The fact that Alan and Denise are well known can be challenging.
However, each time they encounter a challenge, they use it to strengthen their bond. Despite their hectic schedules, they always make time for their family and one another.
Denise and Alan are parents to 3 girls. They take great pride in them. Though they are all successful in their own right, none of their daughters went on to become vocalists like their father. The Willie Nelson Lifetime Achievement Award went to Alan.
He praised his wife when he won the medal. He claimed that although he is not always easy to love, she has always supported him through both good and bad times.
Her assistance is always appreciated by him.
He thanks her for their amazing family and refers to her as his best friend. Denise spoke with People magazine in 2007 prior to writing It's All About Him, Finding the Love of My Life. She discussed the challenging aspects of her marriage. She imagined her life would be like a fairy tale when she was younger. She believed she would wed a powerful man who would look out for her. However, she discovered that it was not always simple to be married to a well-known artist.
Denise discussed the imperfections in her marriage and life in her book.
She discovered that the love of God is more significant than wealth and other possessions. Even the best husband cannot be everything to you, she added, and life is not a fairy tale. She clarified that God, not her husband Alan, is the him and the title of her book. After getting married, Denise suffered from severe depression for a while. Alan seemed like the ideal husband to her.
For 18 years, they shared a large home in Tennessee. She
later learned, however, that he had dated other women.
Alan apparently stated that he wanted a divorce after that.
Denise was the subject of negative articles in the media and publications. She was too domineering, they said.
For 3 months, Alan and Denise lived apart. Denise was exhausted from trying to get Alan to return to her.
Denise once broke down in tears while driving home because she was so depressed.
She asked God for assistance.
She brought this up to Today's Show host in Curry. She claimed that all she could recall was pleading with God for assistance while driving home.
I can no longer bear this.
She pleaded, "You want my family to be apart," the day after dropping her children off at dance practice.
It's unbelievable. I give all to you. However, if you do, I have faith that you would protect me. Denise experienced a sense of calm despite the fact that her issues did not immediately go away.
She became aware of her attempts to exert control over everything. She was so preoccupied with everything that she had lost sight of herself. She felt as though she was losing herself the more she thought about Alan's life and his goals.
Denise's focus on reconciling with Alan shifted.
Rather, she wished to assist other couples in preserving their unions. She claimed that she learned forgiveness while working on her marriage and publishing her book. According to her, the first step toward recovery and real freedom is forgiveness.
Alan and Denise discussed their marital issues with their older children.
They didn't inform their youngest daughter, who was just 5 years old.
Alan and Denise reportedly worked on themselves for a while after their divorce.
A few months later, they resumed their conversation.
According to Denise's interview with People magazine, the claimed divorce was extremely difficult for them both.
However, they came to the conclusion that their connection and marriage were the most significant factors. Denise made the decision to chronicle her experiences in a book. She wished to assist others who were experiencing similar difficulties.
Denise's health struggle.
Alan and Denise had another issue just as things were starting to improve.
To commemorate their anniversary, they traveled to Florida in 2010. Denise's doctor called with some unfavorable news while they were on vacation. The doctor said that Denise had cancer in her intestines. Both Denise and her physician were taken aback. Prior to her vacation, Denise had visited the doctor due to minor bleeding. In order to examine her colon, the doctor performed a colonoscopy. They didn't consider it to be a severe issue at the moment. When Denise learned she had cancer, she told Coping magazine that she was shocked. She claimed that the news was the worst she had ever heard. She was astonished because she made an effort to eat healthily and occasionally went running. She received the news while on a romantic trip with her husband, which made it very distressing. Denise was shocked, but Alan was even more shocked. Denise had never been ill before, so he claimed it was really odd. Denise and Alan immediately flew back to Nashville from Florida. It was the end of their vacation. After they arrived home, Denise scheduled a visit with a cancer specialist. She was interested in finding out more about her condition and its treatment. Denise recalls being frightened when she visited the oncology center. "You can't avoid feeling scared when you go to a hospital to get cancer treatment, even if you plan ahead," she said. Denise received a lot of assistance from Alan during this trying period. He was continuously trying to cheer her up. Being with her and supporting her was his top priority, he realized. Alan explained everything to Denise when they got home from the doctor's office, and made her less fearful. For the first time, Alan claimed, he truly knew what it meant to remain with his wife. For better or worse, he never gave up hope, as he had vowed when they were married. Rather, he remained resilient for Denise. His strength for his wife was also observed by his daughter. Denise underwent radiation treatment for 30 days and chemotherapy for several months. Her physicians declared her cured after 2 months of treatment. She never imagined that she would survive cancer, she told People magazine. According to her, she endured this trying time in order to support other cancer patients. Denise said that negative experiences might lead to positive ones. She thinks that conquering obstacles helps us discover our life's purpose. During challenging times, singers and songwriters frequently come up with song ideas. When Denise was sick with cancer, it was an extremely traumatic period for her family. Alan wrote the lovely and melancholy song When I Saw You Leaving to convey his emotions during this period. Alan claimed that following Denise's cancer diagnosis, he couldn't stop hearing the song in his brain. The song's lyrics encapsulated his emotions at the moment. His 2012 album 30 Miles West featured the song When I Saw You Leaving. This album peaked at the top of the country music charts. Alan sang the song at the Stars Go Blue special performance in 2013. The Cologne Cancer Alliance, a group that supports those with colon cancer, benefited from the money raised during this event. Attendees of the concert heard Alan perform this poignant song. It remains one of his most poignant compositions to date. The song's message resonates with many people, and its lyrics are incredibly powerful. Alan mentioned that when someone's husband or wife has cancer, the most essential thing to do is to encourage them and give them hope. He urged individuals to provide consolation, support, and encouragement to others in times of need. Alan has health issues. "I'm having some difficulty balancing, even in front of the microphone, and I'm bumbling around on stage. I simply feel quite uneasy as a result." Regretfully, the well-known artist Alan Jackson recently revealed some concerning information on his health in 2021. He revealed his condition, known as Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, or CMT, on the Today Show. When his fans learned of this, they became extremely alarmed and worried. Alan clarified that although he discovered he had this illness a few years ago, he is only now informing his supporters of it. He claimed that in addition to other issues, the illness makes it difficult for him to walk. In reality, CMT is a collection of illnesses that harm the body's nerves that are not part of the brain or spinal cord. These nerves regulate the movement of muscles and the transmission of bodily signals to the brain, such as when you touch something. People who have CMT may find it difficult to walk. They may have numbness in their arms, legs, and hands. They may have weak muscles. CMT deteriorates with time. Alan claimed that his mother, his deceased father, and his older sister all suffered from the same illness. According to the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke, 2.6 million people worldwide are impacted by CMT. This indicates that CMT is a somewhat widespread illness. The nerves that regulate muscles are harmed. CMT is not a fatal illness. People with CMT can benefit from certain treatments, and it hardly ever affects the muscles that support breathing. Alan stated that his disease has been bothering him for years when questioned by media about it. It hinders his ability to perform. He clarified that the illness impairs his nerves and makes it challenging for him to maintain his equilibrium. He occasionally falters on stage because of this. He assured his supporters, however, that persons with CMT typically lead normal lives. For nearly 3 decades, Alan has been a well-known country music performer. The Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum paid tribute to him in 2017. Alan has no intention of ceasing to perform anytime near. He believes that going on a retirement tour and then playing again the next year would be absurd. Denise, Alan's wife, is supporting him at home, just as he did for her throughout her cancer diagnosis. His entire family is helping him through this trying time. Denise is glad to help Alan in any way she can. She wants to console him as he copes with his illness because she loves him so much. She recalls that Alan supported her throughout her time of need. And she wants to support him now. According to Denise, their life together has been amazing and reminiscent of a fairy tale. The fact that there is no treatment for his illness doesn't concern her. She will always be there for him. For almost a decade, Alan has been living with this illness in secret. People are now beginning to realize that something is off since it has an impact on his stage presence. After the news was released, he said, "I just want people to know that's why I'm here in case they're wondering. I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat. It's not fatal. Although it won't kill me now, it will eventually kill me." Alan remains upbeat. He claimed that his voice was unaffected by his illness. For as long as possible, he hopes to continue writing music and performing. Where Have You Gone, his record, demonstrates his gratitude for his amazing existence. He can't fathom dealing with any more issues. Although he rarely complains, his illness will make it more difficult for him to perform on stage. He is unsure of how long he will be able to continue touring. Alan has a wonderful marriage, but he also has another unique bond. The majority of people never get to experience it. His admirers are also aware of this unique bond. Let's study it further. Alan's connection to his hero. I've simply always appreciated the singer-songwriters that I've enjoyed when they've come around. Since he was the first artist I truly began listening to the songwriting in, Hank Williams has probably always been one of my favorites. Though most people never have the opportunity to meet their heroes in person, everyone has someone they look up to. Becoming friends with someone you admire is even more uncommon. Your life can change when you meet your hero. The experience of meeting someone you greatly admire is difficult to describe. Alan Jackson had the amazing chance to meet George Jones, his musical inspiration. George Jones was a well-known performer in country music. They immediately became buddies after meeting. Despite their disparate ages, they were close and genuinely liked one another. Their friendship was amazing and lasted a lifetime. Despite being in quite different stages in their professions, Alan and George ended up becoming friends. Alan's career as a vocalist was just getting started in 1989 and signed his first recording contract. George had previously released more than 50 albums and had roughly 10 number-one hits at that point. Given how different these two guys were in their lives, it seems strange that they could remain friends. While George's career was slowing down in the early 1990s, Alan's was booming. But George was always on Alan's side. George wrote I Live to Tell It All, a book about his life, in 1996. George's career gained popularity once more in 1999. Choices, his hit song, was nominated for a Country Music Awards Single of the Year. However, there was an issue. Due to time constraints, the Country Music Awards show's organizers asked George to perform a shortened version of the song. George declined. He desired to perform the entire song. He didn't even attend the award ceremony since he was so distraught. Alan wanted to stand behind George, his friend. Alan was performing his song, Papa Top, at the awards ceremony. He paused in the middle of the song to sing a few lines from Choices, a song by George. With his guitar in hand, Alan then stormed off the stage. Thanking Alan over the phone and saying, "You made this old boy feel awfully proud last night," George would be overjoyed to receive that demonstration of support. George's rendition of the song Choices earned him a Grammy Award for Best Male Country Vocal Performance a few months later. Both George and Alan achieved great success, and their bond grew even closer. Unfortunately, Alan and George never got the opportunity to perform a duet together, despite their constant desire to do so. On April 26, 2013, George passed away. He was 81 years old. Losing his hero and friend devastated Alan. He attended the Grand Ole Opry for George's funeral. Alan performed a lovely rendition of the song He Stopped Loving Her Today at the funeral. George Jones was the first to sing this song. At the Country Music Awards, Alan also paid tribute to George. George and Alan had a wonderful friendship. As two of the closest friends in the music industry, they will always be remembered. Wide Open Country magazine interviewed Alan. One of the greatest country music songs ever recorded is He Said That He Stopped Loving Her Today. It was one of the most significant songs in his own career, he added. Notwithstanding George's passing, Alan is still influenced by his friendship. Alan recalls his first encounter with George. He should keep it country, George said. Although Alan had always aspired to perform country music, the fact that his hero spoke those words meant a lot to him. In 2018, Alan celebrated George's birthday by posting a lovely picture of the two of them on social media. Alan is still terribly missing George. On social media, he frequently discusses his feelings for George. On the birthday of George. Despite experiencing health issues and losing loved ones, Alan has achieved great success as a musician. Alan was acknowledged for his accomplishments by the Georgia Music Hall of Fame in 2010. Additionally, the Country Music Hall of Fame honored him in 2017. The views of Alan's daughters. Alan and Denise have 3 daughters. On June 19, 1990, Maddie, their eldest daughter, was born. On August 23, 1994, Allie Jane, their second daughter, was born. On August 28, 1996, Danny Grace, their youngest daughter, was born. Maddie enjoys inspiring and motivating others. Enjoy Life is the name of the podcast she hosts. Ben Seligman, her husband, tragically passed away in 2018. Despite her sadness, Maddie penned a book on Friday called Lemons, honoring God's memory by trusting Him through my worst heartbreak. In 2021, Maddie's book was reissued with a preface written by Alan and Denise. They respect Maddie's strength and are quite proud of her. At the age of 28, Maddie's first spouse passed away. She fell in love once more and married 5 years later. She relocated to Nashville, Tennessee, with her new spouse. Ryman is their yellow Labrador retriever. On Instagram, Maddie posted a picture from her wedding. She thanked her father in a letter for always being there for her. She claimed that, like her sister, Alan's second daughter Ollie composed a lovely ode to her father because of her confidence in God and her self-belief. In 2021, Ollie married. Jackson Alvey Bradshaw is the name of the boy she and her spouse had. Having another grandson makes Alan and Denise very pleased. Ollie posted a heartfelt tribute to her father on social media following the birth of her son. She expressed her gratitude to him for teaching her independence. She added that he taught her to treat everyone with kindness and respect. Everyone around you recognizes you for what you truly are, was the lovely message she wrote to him. You are the ideal father figure for any lady, a fantastic singer-songwriter. She said, you made sure we knew that we could do anything we set our minds to, and your home was always a haven of music and Jesus. We are really appreciative. According to Allie, the fact that her father is a well-known singer has had a significant impact on her and her family. It is extremely uncommon for someone to be so well-known and still maintain a strong relationship with their family, but Alan is a humble man and a decent family man despite his fame and many travels for work. Many people's lives have been impacted by Alan's music. Additionally, Allie said that although her father isn't flawless, she will always stand up for him. She is aware that she can rely on him at all times. She could not ask for a better parent than him. He brought music, kindness, and joy into their family. He gave her and her sisters the confidence to pursue their goals. Allie's positive remarks for her father went viral on social media. They left a lot of kind remarks after being moved by her article. What his girls have written about him makes it very evident that Alan is a fantastic father in addition to being a fantastic musician. He motivates his kids. We can gain a better understanding of the difficulties of fame, family, and personal issues by learning about Alan's life. He has a lot to teach us. Throughout his life, Alan has encountered numerous challenges, yet he never gives up. He continues to be a popular performer and an inspiration to many. Thank you for viewing. We'd like to hear from you now. How do you feel about the long-suspected truth being revealed by Alan Jackson's daughter? Tell us in the comments section below. For more tales like this, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, watch one of the 2 videos on your screen before leaving. They're not to be missed. See you at the following one.